How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the LAIR. And today we're back with some more historic best of one, utilizing some of our Amonkhet remastered cards. I call this one the God Foretold. So this is basically like a GRIXIS control list. Let's get into it. On to the 2 drops. We're skipping out on the 1 drops. 2 copies of Fae of Wishes. This is an adventure card, so the adventure side is a sorcery called Granted. You may choose a non-creature card you own from outside the game, reveal it, and put it into your hand. And then the creature side is a 1/4 with flying, and then we can activate the ability, discard 2 cards, and return Fae of Wishes to its owner's hand. Running the full play set of Thought Erasure. It's a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, and that player discards that card. Surveil 1. On to the 3 drops. We have 1 copy of As Foretold. It's an enchantment. It says, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on As Foretold, and then once each turn on ours and our opponents, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast with converted mana cost X or less, where X is the number of time counters on As Foretold. We're running 3 copies of Narset, Parter of Veils. She comes in at 5 loyalty. Her static ability says each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. And then her -2 says look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. 3 copies of Bontu's Last Reckoning. It's a sorcery. Destroy all creatures. Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. And then 3 copies of Bedevil. It says destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Onto the 4 drops, we're running 3 copies of God-Eternal Kefnet. He's a 4/5 with flying, and it says you may reveal the first card you draw each turn. As you draw it, whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card, and you may cast that copy. The copy costs 2 less to cast, and when God-Eternal Kefnet dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's hand 3rd from the top. Running 1 copy of Teferi, Master of Time. He comes in at 3 loyalty. His static ability says you may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. His +1 ability says draw a card and then discard a card. His -3 says target creature you don't control phases out. Treat it and anything attached to it as though they don't exist until its controller's next turn. And then the -10 says take 2 extra turns after this one. Running 3 copies of Ritual of Soot. It's a sorcery. It says destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less. And then 4 copies of Nicol, Bolas, the Ravager. He comes in with 4/4 and flying, and when he enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card. Then we can activate his ability later on, exile the card, and then return him to the battlefield transformed under our control, and activate this ability only time you could cast a sorcery. And then he comes back as Nicol, Bolas, the Arisen. He comes in at 7 loyalty. His +2 says draw 2 cards. His -3 says Nicol, Bolas, the Arisen deals 10 damage to target creature or planeswalker. His -4 says put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. And then his -12 says exile all but the bottom card of target player's library. Excuse me. On to the 5 drops. We're running 3 copies of the Scarab God. He's a 5/5. And he says at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. And then later on we can activate his ability, exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. And when Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. We have 3 copies of Nicol, Bolas, Dragon God. Comes in at 4 loyalty. His static ability says he has all loyalty abilities of all other planeswalkers on the battlefield. His +1 says you draw a card and each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. His -3 says destroy target creature or planeswalker. And then his -X says each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game. And then finally, 1 copy of Nicol, Bolas, God-Pharaoh. He comes in at 7 loyalty. His +2 says target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. Until the end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana costs. +1, each opponent exiles 2 cards from their hand. His -4 says Nicol, Bolas, God-Pharaoh deals 7 damage to target opponent, creature an opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. And then his -12 says exile each non-land permanent your opponents control. Let's go ahead and get into the sideboard since we're going to be sometimes accessing that with Fae of Wishes. So we have one copy of Legion's End. So sorcery, exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less, and all other creatures that player controls with the same name as that creature. Then that player reveals their hand and exiles all cards with the same name from their hand and graveyard. One copy of the Elder Spell. Destroy any number of target planeswalkers, choose a planeswalker you control, and put 2 loyalty counters on it for each planeswalker destroyed this way. One copy of Clear the Mind. Sorcery, target player shuffles their graveyard into their library, and we draw a card. One copy of Unmoored Ego. Another sorcery, choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that same name and exile them. That player shuffles their library, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. One Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. It's a legendary sorcery. Put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control to destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker, and then exile Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. One copy of Angrath the Flame Chain. Comes in at 4 loyalty. His +1 ability says each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. His -3 says gain control of target creature until the end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste until the end of turn, and then sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step if it has a converted mana cost of 3 or less. And then his -8 says each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. One copy of Chandra, Awakened Inferno. She comes in at 6 loyalty. Her static ability says this spell can't be countered. Her +2 says each opponent gets an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. And then her -3 says Chandra, the Awakened Inferno, deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. And then finally her -6 says Chandra, Awakened Inferno, deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die, this turn exile it instead. One copy of Kiora, Best the Sea Gods. This is an enchantment saga. First chapter says create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token with hexproof. The second chapter says tap all non-land permanents target opponent's control. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. And then the final chapter says gain control of target permanent and opponent controls. Untap it. One copy of Captive Audience. It's an enchantment. And when it enters the battlefield under an opponent's Captive Audience enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent or of your choice, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Your life total becomes 4. Discard your hand. Each opponent creates 5 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. One copy of Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. He comes in at 7 loyalty. His +2 says he does 3 damage to any target. His -X says exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. And then his -10 says you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. One copy of Omniscience. It's an enchantment. It says you may cast spells from your hand without playing their mana costs. One Erebos' Intervention. Instant speed. Choose 1. Target creature gets -X until the end of turn. You gain X life, or exile up to twice X cards from graveyards. One copy of Finale of Revelation. Draw X cards. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library. Draw X cards. Untap up to 5 lands, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Exile Finale of Revelation. One copy of Torment of Hailfire. Sorcery. Repeat the following process X times. If each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. And then finally one copy of Mass Manipulation. Sorcery. Gain control of X target creatures and or planeswalkers. Alright, so back to our mana base. I chose 1 island, 1 swamp, 1 mountain, 4 Drowned Catacombs, 4 Watery Graves, 4 Blood and 3 Interplanar Beacons. So like I said before, this is GRIXIS control, geared at best of 1. We have access to our sideboard through the Fae of Wishes. Although if we do get an As Foretold out, things can get very interesting, and we could very well, the only reason I'm only running 1 copy of this is because I only have 1 copy. It's kind of like a even better, cheaper version of Fires of Invention, but it doesn't limit the amount of spells you can play, and you can also, once it starts ramping up, start casting instants and whatnot on your opponent's turn as well. It's just an amazing card. So anyways, with that being said, if we did have an As Foretold down on the board, we could even put rainbow-colored sideboard, but since I only have 1 copy, I'm trying to stick to the GRIXIS theme. But that's basically it. We have Narset, helps us control our opponent's card draw, helps us dig for answers to our opponent's board. Thought Erasure can help us get rid of maybe threats that we can't handle in the early game, also helps us surveil. And then we have a lot of creatures that just keep coming back in our God-Eternal Kefnet, which is an amazing blocker, 4/5 flying that just can't be killed, that keeps coming back. And then also he works so well in this deck because he makes all of our instants and sorceries cheaper, or most of them I should say. And we also get to copy that, so it's like we never even cast it, which is beautiful. Teferi is also so annoying and helps us with our card draw. Bolas also helps discard the opponent's hand. Excuse me. And then later on we can get our Nicol Bolas the Arisen and do some things. Scarab God is just the Scarab God, another unkillable. Well, he can be exiled, but that's the only way you can get rid of him. So we're just killing creatures, bringing them back from the dead with Scarab God, Nicol Bolas. More card draw, also doubles as any copy of any Planeswalker on the board with his static ability, can deal with Planeswalkers, can end the game on his own. And then finally, the other version of Nicol Bolas, which is just another ridiculous card. We have some life gain in Crypt of the Eternals and Interplanar Interplanar Beacon, excuse me. So we have a 3.6 converted mana cost running 12 creatures, 8 Planeswalkers, and 26 lands. Before we get into the gameplay today, just want to say if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. It's free to you and helps us out so much. Drop me a comment, talk about strategy, deck ideas, misplays. I read the comments daily. And finally, if you have any friends or family that are into Magic, please share the channel with them. One last thing that I'm very excited to announce. For any of my new followers or subscribers on Twitch, just message me in either the chat or the video comments, and say something like, I just subscribed or something like that, and I can respond with an in-game code that you can use in Magic Arena to unlock a mystery gift from Wizards. So I'm very excited to start being able to do that for you guys. Other than that, thanks for watching. Let's hop into some games. Let's see how we do. Historic ranked. Salazar is our first opponent. The Jace. Alright, so 26 lands. We only have a 2-lander here. Kinda sad. This is risky. We do have our double black and we have our double blue. Let's keep this. I mean, we have 26 lands. Hopefully we can draw into something in the next 2 turns. We do have access to our Thought Erasure on turn 2, which is nice. Okay. Still to draw a land. 6% chance. Okay, let's see what we got here. Demonic Pact. Doom Foretold. There's no white sources. I guess we take the Doom, right? I guess we take this Watery Grave here. Prince, okay, I'm assuming he's gonna scry. Yep. top, one at the bottom. Unfortunately, half the shock given here.
If you wish to surrender now, hone your prowess.
Just rip that full Bolas. Cool. Actually, now that I think about it, that's the one thing we don't have in this deck is enchantment removal, which could be a problem. I'll get this God-Eternal Kefnet as soon as possible. There's the Doom. Big deal. Absolutely.
Oh, bow before Nicol, Bolas. My schemes are never-ending.
Of your upkeep, choose one. So I guess let's just wipe here. Need him to sacrifice this. So we got this shit, okay. Yeah, let's get the God-Eternal out there again. Cool. Doesn't matter, he just keeps coming back. Yeah. So we need to get some type of an enchantment. Enchantment removal, apparently. This feels bad. But opponent's about to be shit out of luck here. Gotta get rid of it. Gotta get rid of it. Oh, beat himself. Feels good. That's a really interesting setup, though. That's why I like to play Historic, everyone. True story. Alright, let's go see if we have access to anything. Okay. I forgot all about enchantments. What do we have? Wait, what? Okay, so enchant, destroy. Creature. Yeah, not really seeing much here. All right. Hopefully we don't play a lot of that archetype, because apparently GRIXIS is pretty far on that. All right, top of it. Alright everyone, so sorry about that. Had to use the bathroom. We have a Bontu, so let's keep this, I guess. I guess we'll play our Blood Crypt first since it comes into play tapped. A sneaky bear. I love it. Uh-oh. There's our blue, that's nice. Let's play that. That's Bontu now. Get out of control. Then you can flood again. Hopefully we can draw into another board wipe. In a perfect world, I'd like to run maybe 1 or 2 more copies of Bontu's last mission. So let's do this. Just wanted to take this runaway steamkin out. Perfect. I don't think he's going to wait to play that until the next turn. Get that going. Okay, let's see what this last card is. No attacks, don't. What's up?
God's once. I am
Gotta
one
get rid of the
again.
Steamkin right now. Especially since we have another one. We will not be attacking here. Hopefully this card's good. He's just... Decline, I'm good. Shocks the Nicol Bolas. That's fine. Cool. Now keeping alive, definitely. Porsche, easy. So it's plussing that. Scarab God out there.
Without limit.
Thought Erasure. Get this shit out of here. And the Ravager, I'll take that. Good game. I think we're interested. It'll be a 4-4 regardless. So I think we'll take the B2 here. I'm so good right now.
Let your weak mind
The Ravager.
crumble.
Go to sleep. I will take definitely. I think I'm more interested in V2, obviously. Sure, right? We could always use more land.
I outsmarted you eons ago.
Let's take the Fanatical since it comes into play with haste. Let's take that. I mean, we should quit. My apologies to everyone. Every time I beat Mono Red, it's just so satisfying. Yeah, screw this. He's done. So feeling good about it. Feeling really good about it. Once I get some more copies of As Foretold, I'm going to rework this deck, and then the sideboard will be five color, so we can get, destroy those enchantments and all those types of decks. Got ourselves some mastery here. Let's check this out. All right, I got 3, 2. Sorry, shoot. Alright, so we got a double black, we got 2 Bontus and an As Foretold. I don't care if I have red. That's how good As Foretold is, especially if you can get it on curve. We will definitely start off with our Watery Grave. I guess we'll take the Flame Hound here. Some more. 4 color. Yeah. Get this down here. Next turn we'll do Kefnet first. Don't quit. Alright, well. so far so good. I think we're 3-1, 3 wins, 1 loss. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Trapan 8. Oh, well, once again, no red sources, but as foretold, Narset, Thought Erasure. Not digging the slow land start, but hopefully we can draw some untapped land. That's not it. Please be Thought Erasure. Gotta hit him first before he hits us, right? Spell Pierce. Slick. Takes the Narset. If he is GRIXIS, he shouldn't be able to deal with our As Foretold. Maybe he's running running bounce, but that's the most important thing. That's what I want to get out right now. This right here. GRIXIS is running a new Drake. Interesting. I think we'll wait on the ritual. Let's wait to... Should we Fae now? Let's Fae now. Two or less. I think the right move here is Angrath, maybe? See if we can get any more Thought Erasures out of this. Chart of course. This actually might be GRIXIS Phoenix. I've been hearing about this. So let's play this first. Let's see who's running a counter spell. So we'll do this.
Your crew for my freedom.
I don't care about necessarily the damage as much as I care about sacrificing it. Although if this is the Phoenix deck, he could be running shocks and stuff too, so I'm not sure. But this this As Foretold is going to start getting real retarded. I don't mind pushing him for this if he doesn't have anything.
No steel.
Okay, he discards a land. Let's hit him with the Fae. 1, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's do Thought Erasure for no cost. Enter the gods. Yeah, you're done, boy. Yes, we want more land. Let's play this. Got him. Wow, this is it's going swimmingly, as they'd say, right? It's always nice at the end of the week, you know, take 1 or 2 days off, you come back and you go on a tear, right? It's always fun. I don't know if I mentioned in my last video, but I am a part of the Wizard Content Creator Program, so I will be getting into the early access event for Zendikar Rising next month. Super excited about that. It's been one of my big goals ever since this game came out. So hopefully any of my followers or subscribers out there will join me for that, and I will be, as it comes closer, we will be putting in. But anyways, yeah, just wanted to tell you. So we finally have a decent draw for our lands. We have a Thought Erasure, we have a God Kefnet. We're going to definitely keep this. priest. Beast. Yeah. Whenever. Oh, he's gonna be hurting. Low Strider. Love to draw into a Bontu's. Don't think I'm that lucky though, but that would be nice. So you're gonna run Bolas' Citadel off of Priest of Forgotten Gods? I feel like the life gain would be substantial enough. Could be a Jund sacrifice shenanigans. Yeah, let's do this. Gain some life. So, because he has Priest, I think I'm more interested in playing God-Eternal Kefnet before I play out the Ravager. Or do I play Ravager first? Because I don't get to choose. He can choose the card to discard, so it's a risk. Going in for 3. Interesting. Okay. Well, there's the... Okay. So yeah, I definitely am going to do Kefnet next. Oh, please, God, give me a Bontu, please. Does that say 20? So Narset. Yeah, unfortunately we just didn't draw any board lights.
I train every day. No one is more prepared than me.
Maybe we can take some heat off us.
Action.
So we've got 3, 4, 5 land. Really need to take out that Forgotten. So we'll take the Devil. No, you're running out of creatures to sacrifice, my friend. There it goes. Going with the Woe Strider and then sacrifice what? 2 Blood Artists?
My mind needs
Sacrifice
a
a Woe
rest.
Strider and a Blood Artist? I don't know. I really need a board wipe. Better play whatever this card is. Must be a land. Nope. Okay. So that's not actually in his hand, right? So let's see if he wants to sacrifice some creatures. still doing damage? Jesus. Yes. Better play whatever this shit is. So yeah, at this point, even if I had a blood wipe, he keeps it going. Cool. Can't be mad at that, right? Cry every time. Whatever, we got time for one more, right? So we're at 4 and 2. Right now. Tear the peaks, man. Alright, so we got a nice 3-lander here. 2 Thought Erasures, a Bontus. Looks fantastic. We'll definitely keep this. Maybe, if I... Sorry, I don't know. I'm trying to... Yeah, keep that. Let's start off with Blood Crypt, tapped. Then Drowned Catacomb, Thought Erasure, Thought Erasure. I don't have any Thoughtseize either. So, that's very interesting. So he's going to be playing a creature next turn, surely. I'm going to take away this. Yes, I'll take another one of those. Because the permanents you can get back to the rest. Alright, so let's do you. Shit. Take a Kefnet. Let's go, boy. Put it in your hand. He quit. Why? That was a super cool combo, though. I might steal that. Sorry. Alright, everyone. That's all I have for you today on my YouTube channel. I'm going to continue streaming on Twitch. Once again, if you're a new to the channel, either Twitch or YouTube, please like and subscribe. It's free to you, helps us out so much. Drop me a comment, talk about strategy, deck ideas, misplays. I read the comments daily. If you have any friends or family that are into Magic, please share the channel with them. Excuse me. And lastly, don't forget, if you're going to be a new subscriber or follower, just reach out to me either on YouTube or Twitch, and I will confirm and then respond with an in-game code that you can use in Arena to unlock a mystery gift from Wizards. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bonus content here. Ooh. That feels good. I think I only have one of him. One of those cards where it's so cool, but it's just like, it's not that good where you should use it, but... And we'll follow. Okay. We'll also open this pack as well. I like it. Alright, y'all.